It really still doesn't feel real that our friend and colleague Nina Kapur has gone. As we mentioned yesterday here on this broadcast, she died this past Saturday in a scooter accident in Brooklyn.
Well, today friends created a makeshift memorial at the accident site to honor Nina's memory. Mayor de Blasio also spoke today about how she made a difference.
Tremendous young talent, filled with potential, filled with a lot of life and energy and compassion, and we lost her in a tragic accident just a few days ago. So our hearts go out to her family.
We have since learned that the 26-year-old man who was operating the scooter made a hard break while traveling northbound on Franklin Street in Greenpoint. He survived with minor injuries. The FDNY does tell us that they were not wearing helmets.
And just days before Nina's tragedy, our news team had been discussing the prevalence of scooters and concerns shared with us by viewers.
So tonight, CBS2's Lisa Rozner takes a closer look.
Running red lights, driving on the sidewalk, and even going against traffic. Most of the incidents involving Revel scooters we have captured over the last few months shows most operators are disobeying traffic laws.
The one thing that's been noticeable has been lack of helmets.
While we are still learning the details surrounding our dear colleague Nina Kapur's death, we're also gathering data on other accidents that have led to injuries on the scooters.
And this was not the only accident involving a Revel scooter on Saturday. Earlier, around 5:30 in the morning, police say a man was found unconscious here in Queens.
Police say it's not clear if he was hit by a vehicle on Steinway Street in Astoria or fell off the scooter, but the man remains in Elmhurst Hospital in critical condition. Some people who live in Brooklyn, where the company first started, have concerns.
I've seen lots of people that don't really know much about motorbikes riding the Revels, and often it seems that they aren't in control of the machine. They're wobbling, they're stopping, and then they aren't stable.
We don't know how often they're actually practicing, if they have a license. Truthfully, I think there should be, some more stringent policies.
Revel came to Brooklyn in 2018, expanded to Queens a year later, and this past spring, Manhattan and the Bronx. It's skyrocketed in popularity, but it's also suspended 1,000 riders in a month. Just this past Thursday, Revel wrote its users saying, "Hey, New York, we need to talk," and that it's seeing more people breaking the rules. It reminded customers to follow traffic laws and wear helmets. A New York City spokesperson tells us Revel scooters are regulated by the state. Revel says there have been 3 million rides taken to date. Police tell us stats from this year alone show there have been 25 collisions involving specifically Revel scooters citywide. Because they are classified by the New York Department of Motor Vehicles as Class B limited-use motorcycles, also known as mopeds, and capped at 30 miles per hour, you only need a driver's license to operate them. Helmets are legally required by the state. Revel tells us riders are required to wear one of the 2 helmets provided with each vehicle, and that the company offers free lessons.
It seems like half the time, especially now with the pandemic, I think people are afraid to put a helmet on and share that kind of thing on your head.
Revel claims it thoroughly disinfects the mopeds and helmets regularly. But how much is it being enforced that those helmets are being worn? And should there be more steps taken before one can rent a Revel? These are the questions we are asking the state, the city, and Revel. Lisa Rozner, CBS 2 News.
And Revel tells us it is actively investigating this incident and is in contact with the NYPD. It also acknowledges until now there were no previous fatalities related to an accident on one of its vehicles.